Hey Giants Nation. Well, it's kind of hit. The official combine doesn't start till the 27th. But Joe Judge had an interview today. He took a lot of questions. Something that I take right away from Joe Judge is that he is a no bull head coach. Um, he was very honest, as much as he could be. There were some questions that were deflected, but I understand why, and we'll get into it. I have notes. We're just gonna go down those notes. And so he was asked if he's going to take anything from the past programs he's been in, the Patriots, anything from Alabama, and he said that he is going to. He's not recreating past programs. He has a certain scheme, and he wants to stick to that scheme. So it's not going to be a recreation of a Bill Belichick team or a Nick Saban team. He said that he brought in certain coaches, and he brought the coaches in that are going to fit the scheme for the 2020 Giants. So that's good to hear. He said that he has he's his own personality. He can take from the Bill Belichick's and Nick Saban's of the world, but ultimately he's his own coach. He is the head coach of the New York Giants, and it's not going to be a rehash of something that, granted, there will definitely be Bill Belichick and Nick Saban things that you're going to see. I mean, his interviewing style is very deflective, so that's good. Bill Belichick is known for he's not going to give you a ton of information, if he does, he's usually like really impressed or he feels really strongly about it. There are a lot of questions on Daniel Jones, and he was very non-committal for Daniel Jones. Now, this may bring up, well, are they going to draft a different quarterback in this draft? I don't think so. Gettleman got his quarterback last year, and Gettleman and Judge are going to definitely go back and forth on who they want to pick with this number 4 pick. Excuse me. But he was very non-committal. Now, he said that it wasn't just him, though. He's non-committal on every player. He said every player has a clean slate. 2020 season, they're all going to come in. They're all going to compete for the job. But I can already see in the comments, and there will be articles that are written that, the Giants, with Joe Judge being non-committal with Daniel Jones, that they could potentially at 4 pick a Tua if he's there. It's not going to happen. I'm not against the idea of drafting a quarterback, but maybe in the later rounds, 5th or 6th. They have 3 7th round compensatory picks. Do it with that. You never know who you can get in the 7th round who could be a viable option as your backup quarterback. But Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. You're not going to waste a 6th and then draft next. Oh, wait, the Cardinals did that, didn't they? Again, he said depth chart is blank. Nobody has a spot. I mean, obviously, you're gonna. Daniel Jones is the quarterback. Saquon's gonna be the starting running back. Darius Slayton's gonna be the 1. Shepard's gonna be the 2 or the slot. You have people on defense. Peppers is going to be a safety. Going from there, though, I mean, the team is really open. Solder, well, if they don't cut him, he'll be back. Zeitler will be the right guard. Aside from that, he really was non-committal after that. So, I mean, your key pieces who were there last year, they're going to hold on to them. They haven't really cut. I mean, Simonson and then another tight end, I forget who it was. They've only made 2 cuts so far. After the combine, I think you're going to start seeing those cuts. Your Ogletrees and maybe Solders of the world. So we're just going to have to wait and see for that. So something that he brought up, which I really appreciated, was that he said that the current coaching staff is living in an apartment complex down the road from MetLife Stadium, and every day they're driving into work together, and they are staying late, talking football, talking scheme, getting all their I's dotted and T's crossed. That was really a standout thing for me because I'm sure when new head coaches are put into places that they do the same thing. But hearing him speak of that, he said, "I want to build a chemistry with the coaching staff now because when the players are there, everybody is going to know what they need to do, teaching wise, scheme wise, A to Z. Everybody's going to have an idea of what needs to be done with the players, what they need to be taught. They've gone over." He said they've looked at every player on the roster, so he knows weaknesses at this point. He knows strengths, and now it's time to get that chemistry with the coaching staff. So the coaching staff, they don't have to build a chemistry with each other. It's already going to be there, and then they can just go do their job. Okay, and he said so. One big thing is he said that scheme is nothing without the players. So what I took from that was they have players in mind already. They have the draft process. They get 18-minute interviews with people now, so they can get a little in-depth analysis on the player's character, their football knowledge, their thoughts on life, things like that. All of that plays into a big factor of if you're going to be picked at 4 or if you're going to be picked at the 5th pick in the 3rd round. So he says as the process goes on, free agency, the draft, he'll be a little bit more committal about singling out a Daniel Jones, saying, he really does this well. He's doing this and that and the other thing. Or Saquon does this. He as he builds a rapport, he says he needs to build a rapport with the player. Last year, Daniel Jones was drafted by Pat Shurmur and Dave Gettleman, and he, from an outside looking in, he's seen him play, but he hasn't built a rapport with the player yet. So he said, I need to build that. I can look at their skill set all day long, but I need to figure out how they are as a player, how they are as a person, and then mesh that all together to really get an understanding of how the player is going to develop. And that's game wise, and that's mentally too. Are they mentally strong enough to be able to take fumbling the ball or intercepting the ball or getting hit 5 times in a game, or 5 sacks in a game and just being pummeled? Are they going to be able to do things like that? He said he's not concerned with age or experience when talking about. When asked a question about bringing in older free agents, he said as long as they're going to be that their main goal is to not be selfish, and they're there to play. He said this a lot. Technically sound, fundamental football, and he wants New York people who are going to want to be a New York Giant. He says we can't have any ulterior motives. You gotta want to be a Giant, which is good. But unfortunately, in free agency, I'm going to focus on that. There's a lot of guys out there who want the money, and by all rights, you got to get your money. But sometimes money, and you can want your money, but do you have the drive to want to be on a winning team? Some guys just want the money and they don't care. So he was asked the question if they would be open to trading back, and he said that everything is going to be an option, which is good because I think there's a lot of potential with teams who may be looking for a quarterback. Um, you look at your San Diego Chargers of the world. You look at your Jacksonville Jaguars are a possibility. I keep saying Jacksonville, they have 2 first-round picks. You can trade that 4th overall for those 2 first-round picks. Or if you're a Raider and the Raiders really do want Justin Herbert and they trade Derek Carr, will they they have 2 first-round picks too, so that's a possibility there of trading back so you can get more assets in the first round. There is risks there, but sometimes you gotta take a risk to get where you're going. So overall, I mean, he really drove home the main things he's always talked about: fundamentally sound football, technically sound football, hard-nosed, tough players. It was a good. I'm more and more impressed every time I listen to not Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman's awful. More and more impressed every time I listen to Joe Judge. Dave Gettleman, on the other hand, oof, he's difficult. But anyway, that's just my take on everything from the interview. I know people are going to be up in arms about not committing to Daniel Jones, but I think that's what you have to do as a coach, a new head coach, at this time. So, thanks for watching the video. Hit that like button. We're up to 16 subscribers. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for watching, everybody.